All right, am we going? I think we are. With that, good evening, everyone. Let me take off my face cam here for a second. While I get this situated and I'll see if it pops up. Take off the face cam here for a little bit. Um, just so you can get a full idea of what's going on. We're jumping in here because we do have a tornado warning in place for Carroll County. That's why I have decided to jump on, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a couple things here. I'm gonna move some things around, so forgive me if it looks a little wonky here for 2 seconds. Um, and we're gonna do this. All right, there we go. So with that, um, good evening, everyone. Hope you are doing well. Hope you're staying safe. We do have severe weather in our state right now, which does include a tornado warning for Central Carroll County, Eastern Frederick County, and then Montgomery County. We do have a serious situation with wind ongoing, and a special marine warning just got issued as well. So, real quickly, I'm going to give you the details here. We do have this tornado warning in place for Carroll County, including the city of Westminster. This will go until 7:15, if I'm not mistaken, and I'll give you the specifics on that right now. And am I lagging here? No, I'm not. Thank goodness. Okay, so so a tornado warning here for Central Carroll and East Central Frederick County until 7:15. Really, this is out of Frederick County now and exclusively a Carroll County problem, but still. At 6:43, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 7 miles south of Town or 10 miles west of Westminster, moving east at 50 miles per hour. Uh, Radar indicated it's still at this point. This storm will be near Westminster at 6:50, and other locations impacted will be Wagner's Mill, Linwood, New Windsor, Union Bridge, and Uniontown. Now, this is out of Union Bridge, and it's right over New Windsor at the moment. Looking at our velocities, not as impressive as it was a little bit earlier, I will say. If we do have a circulation, I believe it would still be by Union Bridge, but it wouldn't be a lot, and it looks even weaker now. Let's look at the SRVs. Not as impressive as it once was, thank goodness, but still, that is something to be concerned about at the moment. Let's go to I'm gonna trust that this is gonna go to Radar Omega, and I think it will, but let's find out. Yes, it did. Okay, so getting in tight here. There's your storm near New Windsor, and I'm just gonna put on the velocities. Again, not a strong rotation, but I will track this. This is moving east at 50. Let me make sure I have the speed correct. Gotta bump it down a few. And here is our storm. And they just issued a new bulletin here. So let me just get this update real quick from the Weather Service in Sterling before I confirm this track. So the warning remains in place until 7:15. It does include a small slither of Frederick, but I think if you're in Frederick County from this particular warning, you're good. We do have this storm moving east at 45 now. It's slowed down just a little bit. So let me just adjust the speed, get it down to about 45, and I will get in tight. But Westminster around 7 o'clock, Covilla 6:59, Carrollton 7:04, Harbor Estate 7:06. If this does get to Piney Branch, it would be at 7:10. And this considerable severe thunderstorm warning just got updated here. And let's drop down here south real quick to that one, and I will switch back over to our main system. The radar indicator got updated as well, but this is a serious storm too. This has got 70-mile-per-hour winds coming into the Germantown Gaithersburg area here shortly. This is 270 at Father Hurley Boulevard. Good grief. That is some strong storms that are ongoing now. You can see the wind is really picking up. Let me put on the velocities real quick with this particular storm. I mean, we're close to the radar, so it's going to be pretty hard to get an accurate measurement, but I do know earlier when it was back towards Leesburg, it was picking up 60s easily. So they are not messing around, and you could see the wind-driven rain. It's getting real nasty out there in Germantown at this moment. Let me see what some of these oranges are indicating. Wow, 50, 40. I'm looking at the inspector here. I'm seeing 53 at the moment. So just some rather strong winds moving through Montgomery County at this point, and the Weather Service is going to have to make a business decision here because this is about to get out the warning area, and this is going to be a problem for us in the metro. I do have traffic cams up, but good grief, that is a scene right now at 70 and Father Hurley, or 270 at Father Hurley, excuse me. Bad time to be on I-270, I-70, really any major thoroughfare out here in the northern half of the DC metro, the western half of the Baltimore metro. It's going to get real rough for the next hour, hour and a half as this progresses. This storm is moving. Let me get a speed here just so I can kind of get you the best possible measurement. Is moving at 45. So these storms were slowing. Earlier, these storms were moving easily 50, 55, especially when they were out towards the Pittsburgh area, northern West Virginia, eastern Ohio. Now they're kind of slowing down a little bit. We're losing that heating of the day. The driving winds are also kind of shaky at this point at the 500 millibar level, even though we still have some strong push at the moment. So what I'm going to do, and I know this camera's captivating, but I'm going to switch over to Radar Omega again, and we're going to get a track on this. And just as I said that there's a new severe thunderstorm warning in place, I will go back to the main system real quick. This will be for most of Howard County, really the western and central thirds, northern Montgomery, and it touches the border with Carroll and clips for southeastern Frederick County. This particular warning is for 60-mile-per-hour winds, so they've bumped down on the threat level with this, which is good, but nonetheless, this is a severe thunderstorm warning in place. This is moving at, wow, 60. So they just updated this. It's moving at 60. The Boeing segment is strong with this. So metro, we gotta start being concerned about this particular system. I will go back to Radar Omega and we will track this here. And I will actually have to adjust the speed on this. But there's your severe thunderstorm warning bulletin, hot off the wire on the warning system. But I'm gonna have to update these times here, so give me a minute, because these times aren't gonna be running a few minutes behind on these. But there we go. Date. Wow. You can see how quickly it's already progressed. I gotta get a new track up. I did not do a good job on that one. Let's do here. And this is a strong Boeing segment. This is where we could have some really strong winds here entering into West Metro within short order. So Dayton 708 on PVSP, quarter after 7, Columbia 715, Ellicott City 718, and this would get into downtown Baltimore before 7:30 at this clip. Now, these speeds are kind of fluctuated, but right now, as it stands, if we do have this severe thunderstorm hold together, it would be in downtown in about 30 minutes. So that doesn't give you a whole lot of time. This thing is pretty much right by the Triadelphia Reservoir at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's right on the Patuxent, and there's a Triadelphia near 650. I'll zoom in here, and what I'm actually going to do is we're going to do this real quick. Can it capture the cursor? I think it can. There we go. So I click inside. I just want to make sure it's actually doing that. But there's a Triadelphia right here by 650 in Dayton. It's quickly approaching that, and with every scan, I'm telling you, this thing's progressing fast. And just to give you an idea, this is 270 at Father Hurley now in Germantown. It's raining heavy still, don't get me wrong. But the wind driven aspect is along the leading edge. Once you get behind this, things start improving, but that's the situation there. Let me take this off real quick. We do have this severe thunderstorm still capable of producing a tornado that would be right over downtown Westminster at the moment. SRVs, not great. Not great at the moment. But still, they're there. And what is this? That's severe thunderstorm watch? Yeah. Okay, so let me just back out real quick. SPC, the Storm Prediction Center, they have seen this ongoing activity, and instead of issuing another severe thunderstorm watch, and then we got a new tornado warning. Good grief. Got a bunch of stuff going on, but let me just take off the traffic cameras for a second before I get to this new tornado warning. We have a severe thunderstorm watch in place for Prince George's, Anne Arundel, Caroline, Talbot, Queen Anne's, Kent, and Cecil counties. This will go until 11 o'clock tonight, just so you know. So in those areas, you want to be on the lookout here for strong winds, 60 to 70 miles per hour. Tornado risk is on the low end. It will probably be less confidence just because we don't have the dynamics here, but that's just what we're dealing with at this point. Let me get in tight. We do have this new tornado warning that is in place for eastern or northeastern Montgomery, western Howard, and a small slither of southwestern Carroll County. This will go until, wow, 7:15. That's a fast warning that we have here. I'm assuming, I think they would drop Westminster. They would have to drop the Westminster warning right now. I don't think.
Attention, a new radar indicated
Let me just check for these. They might have to drop that warning for Carroll. The storm is not looking the same, at least right now. But there's our new tornado warning for South Central Carroll, or Southeastern really, Northwestern Howard County, North Central Montgomery County until 7:15. At 7 o'clock, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Damascus, moving east at 50. This storm will be near Ellicott City, Eldersburg, and Sykesville around 7:05. So that's in very short order. Let me just get this rotation up here, and I'm probably have to use SRVs, and we might have to jump over too. And they just upgraded that to a considerable threat for the severe thunderstorm warning encompassing this. So there's a lot going on right now. We're gonna switch over to Radar Omega here for a second because I think they got a good SRV on this as well. I think they have a pretty good idea of what's happening here. Let's go to our SRV there, and we'll jump over to live coverage, RO full. There we go. And we'll get in tight because I like their color palette a little bit better for the SRVs. But there's your considerable severe thunderstorm warning that just got upped here. 70 mile per hour winds for Howard County, and it's kind of gotten a little dark out here in West Metro where I'm at. So things are getting real interesting real fast. So they just updated this warning. But there's your rotation over Elizabeth and Cooksville right now. Broad, but still they are over 144. I'm willing to bet there are some cameras in this location. Yeah, we're going to get a really good view of this here shortly. Let me just go over to velocities and then back. And we'll take the camera in West Friendship. And we'll do LWX, not LWX. We'll take this and then we'll go to weatherwise. So this is looking east. I need a camera looking back more west. 40 west of Marysville. That's still looking east. Let's do 40 and 29. That's not going to give us anything. Good grief. These storms are also moving incredibly fast, so they'll be over one location and be out very quickly. But we'll just stick with this view here. This is in West Friendship at 70 and 32. Of course, this is exit 80. And as you could see, We got some darkening skies. This is looking back east, so you won't be looking towards the storm, but I'm telling you, this stuff is going to be coming in fast. I'm just looking at the there's a severe thunderstorm watch that just got issued, and did that camera just go out? Don't tell me that that camera just went out. Oh my goodness, it might have. It may very well have. Do Marysville? No. Tapsco. So some of these just went out. I hope that's not because of power outages. That would be a bad situation there. We'll pull the Beltway real quick. Okay, this might be one of our best views. This is the Beltway north of exit 17. So this is north of 17. Would this be the yeah, this would be the security. Or not, would that be? I think that's security. No, north of exit 17 is the I-70, but 16's security. But still, this is probably going to be our best view that we can get of this thing if something were to develop. It would be near Cooksville right now, and I think it would be right here. I'm looking at the SRVs on another screen. That's where this possible tornado would be at the moment if one were to spin up. Just a wild mess of stuff that we got going on here tonight. That's for sure. And these storms are quickly converging towards the metro. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to jump real quick just to see what's going on in terms of our pardon me, of our skies here in West Metro before I jump back. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'd say we got about 20 minutes before things really start getting intense here on the west side. So be mindful of that. I'll drag this down. And then I'll just show you the current lay of the land in terms of warnings. I'll keep this to the side here for a second. So here is our multiple warnings, and I'll probably have to, let's go, it's going to a 3-camera network, and I know this is going to pop up some ads, so I do apologize, but this is kind of where we are right now with all of this ongoing. Let me pull up camera 2. So the whammo's good. It'll be. We'll probably have to change the downtown one. I don't like that downtown one, to be quite honest. That one's kind of fading out on me. Let's just do Fort McHenry. Because sometimes those fade out with the contrast, especially once you get towards sunset. So what I'm going to do here, and we're going to make this one label that full zoom. And then for this one, I think that would be camera 3. We got our most pressing. No, that's not. Okay. So you got 3 camera views. I'm gonna pull up Fort McHenry real quick, and this is gonna pop up my face. Fort McHenry, you can see the darkening skies off to the left side of the flagpole there. Things are starting to get a little rough. Let's pull up the whammo. You could see the edge, and I'm just gonna remove my face here for a second, of that thunderstorm on the right hand side of the view. you could see downtown Arlington in the foreground, but just to the right, you got the darkening skies. That's where we have that storm that's moving through Montgomery County now. And then I'll pull up Ocean City. Really, nothing's going to happen in Ocean City in terms of a severe aspect. You're not even under the watch. Dorchester, Wycomico, Somerset, Worcester, you're not under anything. But that's the main deal that we have right now in terms of our watches, in terms of our scenery situation. And watches and warnings, I'm going to take off the radar here real quick, and we're just going to go over a full recap right now. We do have the severe thunderstorm warning up in Carroll County that will go until 7:15. They may just drop that one. I'm not sure. And then we do have, and let me take off these blue dots here because they can be kind of distracting. We do have this severe thunderstorm warning that is with the considerable attack for 70-mile-per-hour winds in that darker shade of orange. That just get dropped or that got modified. So I'll check the bulletin on that in a second. That's for Western Howard, really Western and Central Howard and Eastern Montgomery counties. That will go until 7:30. And good news, they just dropped the watch for a good chunk of, actually all of Northern Virginia and West Virginia is out, so that's good. But we do have these two considerable severe thunderstorm warnings across Montgomery County, Howard County. Well, they just updated the watch. I'm willing to bet they're going to start shaving off some of this here soon. But we do have that considerable severe thunderstorm warning in effect for portions of Montgomery County and then Western and Central Howard County and the sliver of southeastern Carroll that will go until 7:30 for 70-mile-per-hour winds. That is the lay of the land. We do have the tornado watch until 8 o'clock, till like 8 o'clock, I believe. Yep, 8 o'clock for Hartford, Baltimore, Howard, Montgomery, all counties west. And then we do have a severe thunderstorm watch here for PG County, Anne Arundel County, most of the eastern shore, with the exception of Dorchester County. That will go until 11. So that is the lay of the land right now. And we'll go into our radar scenery here. So this storm, that if it is producing a tornado, it's probably over Sykesville right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hop back to Radar Omega here, and I'm jumping between two different sources, and I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but I'll try and give you the best views as possible. So this storm near Alpha and Driver is where I'm really concerned about. If any rotation could develop into a tornado, that is where it would be at the moment. Where is this heading next? It is Milford Mill, it is Lockern, it is the West Metro. And it will be doing so within very, very short order. Oh, by the way, let me get this update here for the severe thunderstorm warning down in Montgomery and Howard for you real quick. This remains in effect until 7:30. Trying to see if we can get any more bulletins. I don't think so. So there's your tornado warning for this storm, and let me a little close to me. That's gonna get this track. This is moving at 55. And a new severe thunderstorm warning just dropped for a lot of Metro Baltimore. And I told you things were going to escalate quickly. Lo and behold, they are. Let me get you the latest ETAs. Granted, now the Davis area of the PVSP very shortly. Hollifield 718, Northwest Hospital 719, Milford Mill the same. It'd be into Villanova, Lockern, Falstaff around 720 to 723. and then into Ashburton and Hanlon Longwood by 7:25. So now we're starting to get into Baltimore City, and that's where we have our new severe thunderstorm warning in place. And oh, good grief, this is a considerable tag for 70-mile-per-hour winds. Okay, let's take that to second system full. Here is our considerable severe thunderstorm warning for most of the Baltimore metropolitan area. This does include Baltimore City, the southern half of Baltimore County, northern Anne Arundel County, eastern Howard County. This warning, I will pull up the info, and you probably saw it on the crawl, will go, as I start hearing rumbles of thunder not too far from here, until 8 o'clock. At 7:14, the severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from near Randallstown to near Columbia to near Rossmore, moving east at 65 miles per hour. To give perspective, 30 to 40 for us is fast. 65 is blazing along. 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts are the main threat, and the source for the concern was emergency management. Wow. Let me just pull up our storm reports real quick while I'm at it, but I'll continue reading up the text. Damaging winds will cause some trees and large branches to fall. This could injure those outdoors, as well as damage homes and vehicles. Roadways may become blocked by downed trees. Localized power outages are possible. Unsecured light objects may become projectiles. Baltimore, Columbia, Severn, Olney, Pikesville, Middle River, Elk Ridge, Riviera Beach, BWI, Fort Smallwood State Park, Gibson Island, Bodkin Point, Sillery Bay, Miller's Island, North Point State Park, Sparrows Point, Dobbins Island, Pinehurst, Back River, and historic Ellicott City are all in the path of this severe thunderstorm. So the wind threat has been observed. 70-mile-per-hour winds are the main primary threat as of now. We have some reports of numerous large tree limbs, several inches in diameter, snapped and blew in from neighbor's yard. That was near Damascus not too long ago. On Clarksburg, we do have reports of several trees, wires, and large limbs down around Clarksburg to Damascus. So Montgomery County's taken a hit from this, and this is the same complex that is now moving into greater metro Baltimore and will be doing so very, very shortly. And I'm hearing thunder. This is starting to get a little intense. Let me get a storm track on here. 65 miles an hour. And we'll give you a rough estimate of who needs to be concerned for when this is going to strike. But really, Owings Mills to Randallstown, your time is right now, essentially. And Kent County, you want to be paying attention. Queen Anne's County as well. I'm immediately tracking for the metro, but those areas, you want to be on alert here soon. I don't like that track. Let's just do another one. But this would be moving into Ellicott City right now. Randallstown here shortly. Wait a minute. We're going to have some serious ground truth on this. Let me go back to the stream. And we have a camera that we could probably take.
This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Let's do this real quick. On camera 2, what I want to do is we're going to take the Ocean City cam.
Attention, a new special event has been issued.
And we're going to interact. Get this out. Properties. Let me see if I can get this Ellicott City camera up. Not Ellicott City. This is going to be downtown Columbia if I can get in. There's a new tornado warning for northern Baltimore Metro that is in place. I'm going to get this camera and we're going to get that fired up here on the system here shortly. Properties or interact. So this is downtown Columbia. at Lake Kinnamakundi, and my alerts are going off because my area is in the polygon. So we do have a new tornado warning here that does include the city of Pikesville, the city of Towson. It does include Parkville as well. This is for a storm that is capable of producing a tornado. So if you are in the city of Pikesville, the city of Towson, Parkville, Kearney, Lucreville, Timonium, Mays Chapel, you need to be heading down to your shelter. I may be doing so myself here soon, because this is a new radar indicated circulation. As I go over to the other system that is right now moving into Pikesville at this very moment. SRVs, if we do have a tornado, and if it is on the ground right now, and I'm going to delete this track, it would be on the east side of Randallstown, right by the Woodhome Country Club, right at the 795, 695 junction. I want to go back to Radar Omega, not Radar Omega, to Weatherwise, the main system here, and I want to pull up that traffic cam at the junction, because this is going to be very crucial if we can find something. This is looking east. I want a view looking back west if we can get that. There it is. So there's your storm looking back west southwest. And this is 695 or 140, and I'll probably pull up one more camera. 795 and McDonough. We'll pull these two cameras, and then now, because the Owings Mills campus, the CCBC's under it. Now everybody's getting alerts. This is a new tornado warning that does include the city of Pikesville. Until what time would this be? 23. So that'd be 45, 7:45. And this is a radar indicated, but still tornado warning in place for the northern half of the greater Baltimore metropolitan area for this potential tornadic storm that is moving essentially right near downtown Pikesville. This would be very much near downtown Pikesville at this moment. See if anybody's getting some. I'd be very interested in what's going on. But we do have a storm that is near downtown Pikesville at this very moment. That could be producing a tornado. So this is right by the Woodhome Country Club, the Old Court Metro Station, the Doubletree, the Drew Ridge Cemetery out here, Subbrook Park, downtown Pikesville is under the gun from a potential tornado at this very moment. And we're about to get some really heavy rain, if not right now, out here in West Metro. This is going to start moving towards downtown very shortly. So if you are in downtown Baltimore, you're about to get in on some strong winds and potentially some really unsettled weather here very shortly. So we got some wind-driven rain here coming in. So those of you in Pikesville and Lockern and Woodlawn, Catonsville, you got some really heavy stuff ongoing at this moment. Winds are starting to pick up here too. Radar indicated threat still right now. So if you are in, okay, so 795 McDonough's out, and things are gonna get real rough here in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Power may start going out here as well. But that's our situation, unfortunately for us here in West Metro, as things have really escalated. And this line of storms, the models really picked up on this well, because it was indicating that time frame really between 6:30 and 10, and right on cue, I think the H bar specifically had it down to like 7 or 7:30, and lo and behold, 7:20, we're now getting the worst of this here in Greater Baltimore. So, Reisterstown, you're just about done, but Owings Mills to Pikesville, you got heavy storms, Lockern, Woodlawn, Catonsville at the moment. I hear wind-driven rain right on right where I am. I have a west-facing window right now, and I could hear that rain being driven into my window at this moment. Where would this rotation be? I'll switch you back over. I think it would be probably just in or just north of downtown Pikesville, right by the Druid Ridge Cemetery if we do have a tornado ongoing. And this tornado warning just got updated, so let me just give you the latest info on that. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Pikesville at 7:25, moving east at 45 miles per hour. So there's your tornadic storm, and I'm gonna track this. Get back to our radar. This is gonna look a little wonky here, but get a track, and I'll have to adjust the times. But there it is. And this is gonna get into Towson here shortly. So 45 on this particular rotation track. So just to give you some locations, Ruxton 7:28 very soon. It's 7:26 on my computer right now. TU at 7:31. Downtown Towson 7:31. Timonium 7:32. Perry Hall Estate 7:41 if this were to hold. So for those of you in Towson, this is your time to really start getting to your tornado shelters. Downtown Baltimore, I would be prepared for 60 to 70 mile per hour winds along the leading edge of this storm. And we just lost 695 at Reisterstown, that camera that you just saw. Let me pull up. Okay, now we got it back. Let me pull up 83. This is gonna be an interesting view if I can get a good west facing perspective. Okay, I'm sorry, we had some technical stuff going on, so let me see if I can get some. I think my weatherwise just quit on me. Let me just see if I can pull it back up again. I'm sorry. So we're gonna stick with this particular system here for a moment. Let me see if I can get the other one to come back up. Okay, there we go. We're back in business on the main system. So there's your storm that's that's essentially moving right over Towson and TU at the moment. This is 695 west of York Road. This is going to give us a real interesting perspective on this as it moves through. So the tornado threat for Pikes was already done. Thank goodness. But downtown, the business is about to pick up. Elk Ridge business is picking up. The airport, Harmon's, Arundel Mills. You're about to get in on some really strong storms and potential for 70 mile per hour winds here shortly. But heavy rain moving through, and it's going to not last very long. That's the one good thing about this. This is just the last 15 minutes. And you could see how quick this has progressed. I'll take it to the last 30, really. Now, we'll do the last 30 minutes. And you could see, really, this is 20, really. And you could see how fast this has progressed through Carroll County, Howard County, and into the metro. And now it is upon us here in downtown Baltimore. We do have this rotation here near Towson. I'm going to pop up SRVs real quick on the other system and take that full. If we do have a tornado, it's right over Lutherville, Timonium, in the Riderwood area right now. And they just updated this warning again. The Weather Service just did, so. A lot of stuff ongoing, but this is where we are at the moment with our warning situation and our storms. They're now through the heart of Baltimore at this time. Let me take up the cameras here. And I wonder if this is going to kick me to, yeah, it just kicked me to advertisements on all three. So give me a second. I'm pull up the triple box just so you can see what's going on. And it should pop me into all three. Fort McHenry should be very, very interesting here. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to pull up 95 at 395 here in downtown. And oh, it is rocking at 95 at 395. Welcome to the bad stuff. And the weather-wise just crashed on me again. Technology. It's great when it works, it's a pain when it doesn't. Give me a second. I'm pretty sure it did, so we're gonna have to open it up once more. I'm running a lot of programs as well, so that's probably part of the reason why, but still. There it is. It's, man, it's a rough storm. And let me pull up, this would be one. There's Fort McHenry. Imagine it's getting real unsettled now at Fort McHenry at this time. I'm trying to zoom in on Fort McHenry. Yep. Getting real rough. Let's do 895 at Boston. Actually, that might not be an ideal look. Toll Plaza. Okay, this is gonna be a good view. This is the Toll Plaza. And you can see the raindrops here. Things are gonna deteriorate very, very fast as these stores progress now through downtown Baltimore and now to East Baltimore. These stores are not wasting time. They're moving 60 plus miles per hour in some cases. So serious situation ongoing here in the greater Baltimore metropolitan area at this time. Let me take you over to the other system here that we have. There's our storms, and I want to give you an idea on who would be next. Let me just get a general forward motion. Still moving east at 55. So just to give you an idea of who would have to be most concerned moving forward with this line. It's not going to pop up a lot of places, but we're going to try. And I'm just going to get a list. And I'm going to make sure we're at 55 just to give you an accurate representation. Okay, so for those of you watching on the Eastern Shore, this would be approaching, really, before I talk about the Eastern Shore, this would be approaching the proving ground here before 8 o'clock. Rock Hall around that same time. And I just heard a big rumble of thunder here, so how about that? Sudlersville 820, Cecilton 820, Merridale 826. So that's where we are with these storms here as they get ready to move into Cecil, Kent, and Queen Anne's counties here, which is short order. So be prepared. Moving back towards this storm, and they just dropped that tornado warning for Baltimore County, which is good news. But nonetheless, if you're watching in Kent County and Cecil County, Queen Anne's County, your time's gonna be coming up here sooner than you probably think. Chestertown 807, it's 7:35 right now, so about a half hour away is this complex of storms has really traversed for the last several hours through Western Maryland, the West Virginia Panhandle, and Northern Virginia. I'll take weather-wise back to the forefront here. And there's a toll plaza. You can see the rain moving in right now. But let me just, for a second, let me take off the traffic cameras again. And just play the last 20 minutes. That's the last 20 minutes. Understand, that is fast movement of these storms. And I'm glad we got that tornado warning out of here for that broad circulation. That's good news, but still, 70-mile-per-hour winds could be on the table with any of these storms that are ongoing. Let's do 75 scans just to see how far back we'll go. This is, wow, this is what, 3.5 hours worth of looping material that I got here. These storms start out in Northern Virginia and Western Maryland. They kind of organize and conglomerate into one big complex, and then they tear through Metro Baltimore with these winds. So sometimes that's how these storms go, and that's more common than you probably think as well. A lot of times we do have these clustered systems, and then by the time they get to, let's say, 95 or even 795, the Northwest Expressway, they really start to conglomerate in this type of environment. So just another classic severe weather event, first one of the year here in Baltimore. Let me pull up something here on the other system if I can. Power outages, I would be very curious to see what's going on with that. Let's do counties. I don't think we're gonna pop up if we had enough. No, we don't. But they just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning. Okay. Northeastern Baltimore, Southern, and Central Hartford. That will go until what? 8:15. So that's another one for 60-mile-per-hour winds. So they've downgraded on this particular threat, which is good, but still, nonetheless, it is a problem that we have to monitor. And I would anticipate that. I think Cecil County belongs to Sterling.
Severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
There's that bulletin for the severe thunderstorm warning. Cecil County belongs to Sterling. They'll have to make a decision on that soon. But Kent, Queen Anne's, Caroline, and Talbot counties, they belong to Mount Holly, New Jersey's National Weather Service office. So they'll have to make decisions here soon on this particular cluster in the metro right now. But that's the way it's looking at the moment. Let me just try to see if I can pull up any power outages real quick before I try to regroup. So far in Frederick County, 1,700 customers are out. That's about 1.5% of the county. Wow. How about Howard? Almost 4,000 customers out of 140,000. That's about 3% of the county that's without power right now, which is impressive for a small scale system like this that could be intense. And then Montgomery County, we got 4,000 out. Of course, Montgomery County is the most populated county in the state of Maryland. That's about 1% of the county, give or take. Carroll County, 100 customers. Baltimore, so far, 104. In the city itself, only 19 customers are out at the moment, but we'll see how these numbers fluctuate throughout time. Okay. So here's our current situation. I would say right now, Metro, West, we're good. Any other severe thunderstorms slash tornado threat, I don't see much happening throughout the night. We're starting to lose the heating of the day. Plus, we had these big storms roll through. We're pretty much done with the severe threat from the heart of the metro west. Now, Eastern Shore, East Metro, Harford County, Anne Arundel. We still got to worry about these storms here, Glenburnie to Pasadena. I highly doubt that we have this particular radar. I'm going to go check. Oh, we do. Okay. So how about that? Okay. Let me do this real quick. Those you don't know, with the other system, we can pull up a radar from Denton, and it's just now starting to pick up on these storms near Severna Park at the moment. So that's another interesting thing that we can do with this. We can also do volumetric 3Ds. Wow. Okay. I think. Can we? No, we can't. Okay, that's only with the NWS radars. But let me just show you how high some of these are going, and I could probably do it on the other system as well. Do volumetric. It's going to pull up that latest volume scan they can pull on this particular system. I'm going to do a little dissection of it. So some of the heavier returns are going about 16,000 feet. I'll probably pull up a box here as well just to try to see what's going on within that. And we'll go within, pardon me, we'll do the hail aspect on this, and we'll take radar makeup full for that matter. And you could see we do have some clusters where we could have some hail, but what I think this is also is suspended hail within the storm as well. Another way I could kind of confirm this here is with the other system, and we can pull up that particular cross section, and I'm gonna kind of turn it on its side, so forgive me for a second. There you could see around 10,000 feet if I can draw on here. No, but you could see where my cursor is. We do have this little suspended core of hail that is ongoing right now. So what that tells me is that this suspended hail that is within the system that is not quite falling is indicating some very intense rainfall as well. And I wouldn't be surprised, even though the sheer speed of these storms have been pretty fast today for our standards, that we get another round of storms. Or not another round of storms, pardon me, that we get flooding. Hang on one second. Right. That we may have a flooding threat with this, even though these storms are moving fast. That may be our one saving grace. So I'm gonna look at this real quick. And actually what I'm gonna do is we're gonna pull up the Mesonet here. And I'm gonna interact with the Mesonet page. Temperature, as you could see, stark contrast here as these storms move through. This was as a 645, so I'm willing to bet this has changed a little bit. There we go. So we're gonna, there we go. So you could see here, we do have 80s in Southern Maryland, Waldorf, Dunkirk, some 60s now with this rain cooled air near Lake Montebello and Towson. The humidity has gone up. The dew points here are still pretty moist. That's why we've had all this energy for the storms today. Past hours rainfall, third of an inch at Lisbon, Sykesville, quarter inch, third of an inch about at Clarksville. So the one saving grace with these storms and not getting the significant flooding threat that we've had is just these storms have been moving so fast. They're in and out within 15 to 20 minutes, and then they're done with. So not as much rain is able to fall as compared to a storm that may be moving, let's say 30 to 40 miles per hour. That's another thing to consider. Now, taking it back full, I'm going to kind of do a reset here, and I may hop off for a little while. If we do have more tornado warnings or something more serious, we'll pop back on. But right now, at the moment, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for the East Metro, Eastern Baltimore City, Eastern Baltimore County, Southern and Central Hartford County. That severe thunderstorm warning will go until 8:15, and then we do have special marine warning. So those of you who are still on the water, get off. If you are still on the water, just get off, because it's going to get real rough, and you're dealing with thunder and lightning. That could be a real hazard here, along with the 60 to perhaps 70 mile per hour wind gusts that are on the table with this. This tornado watch, technically speaking, goes until 8 o'clock. This is probably going to get dropped. I think our severe weather threat pretty much is starting to be on the downturn. And then severe thunderstorm watch here for the Eastern Shore, PG County, and Arundel County until 11 o'clock. Now let's do the run of the HRRR real quick. The HRRR did a really good job today, by the way. I mean, this thing, it had it in the Metro 7:15 to 7:30 on that previous run, and it did excellent on that. And now let me see what the rest of the night has in store for us here as I look at the plain old HRRR. Or do I have to go in time? I have to go in time. So give me a second just to get my other system loaded up, because I don't think we got the latest run of the HRRR quite yet. Okay, this is the latest run. Okay. So go back to sub hourly. Take you back to this.
Attention, a new special event has been issued.
There we go. I'll just take you to the rundown for the rest of the night. So these storms have moved through. There's a chance in the counties along the Mason-Dixon that we may get more activity towards 10 o'clock, but I think these would be really limited in what they could do, really, because we've had so much in terms of convective activity just with this round alone, that I don't think anything that fires off with this particular batch is going to be super strong, if not severe. And then we'll have more stubborn rain that will persist into tomorrow. It could be a really, really rough day in terms of rainfall. And let me just pull up let me pull up a couple. We'll do NAM first, just to see how the NAM's thinking about this. Yeah, some prolonged rain tomorrow morning into the afternoon. We could get a good soaking out of this one. And then the GFS, pull up here real quick. I'll run this through real quick. So there's our batch of rain tomorrow morning into the afternoon. That could set our temperatures back a little bit as well. So we are done with the severe threat, but the rain tomorrow could be a problem as well. By the way, 3% of Howard County is almost out of power as well. So that's another thing to consider as we are going throughout the night. Hopefully you have charged your devices and everything's all right over there. By the way, that new alert that you just saw across the screen is for a new severe thunderstorm warning in Kent County, northern Queen Anne's County, and this is weirdly shaped because Cecil County is belonging to Baltimore, Washington, or the Sterling office, and then Kent County, Queen Anne's County, Caroline, Talbot counties belong to the National Weather Service in Mount Holly, New Jersey, the Philadelphia office. That's why it's shaped a little weird, like a backwards L. Southern Newcastle County, Delaware, and then northern Kent County, Delaware as well. But Kent County, Maryland, Queen Anne's County, Maryland, the severe thunderstorm warning will go into place here until 8:30 for 60-mile-per-hour winds. So for those of you in Kent County and northern Queen Anne's County, do be on the lookout for that. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of reset. If I do need to come back on, I will. Just be mindful of any of these storms that are going across much of our metropolitan areas, and if we do get any more warnings, watches, any of that stuff, or if something more serious pops up like a considerable tag, severe thunderstorm warning, tornado watch, tornado warning, forgive me, it's been a day, it's been a wild week actually, I will hop back on. But that is the situation ongoing here. Stay safe, stay weather aware, and I will see you as needed. I'm Jay Mitchell from 410 WX.